Happy Monday, beautiful people. Happy Monday. It is a Monday, March the 7th, 2022. It is day 49 of year 4, reading through the books of the law and the prophets, and of the 4-year consecutive day count, y'all. Day 1067. Today we're going to finish reading tablet H of the complete Annunaki Bible, starting on page 137, and then we're going to get to Magick today in chapter 27 on page 221 where we left off at on Sunday. No, I'm sorry, Saturday. Yesterday was Sunday. All right, people, hold on. I want to share something with y'all today, too. I want to show y'all. If y'all was here yesterday, I want to show y'all what I did when I was still a Christian. And I want to show y'all the same principles that are being used. Some people can't handle it. This is you completely gone off path. You're heading down a very dark road. And I'm trying to show y'all. Some people just don't have the wherewithal just to calm down and see the thing through, right? Christian church just spooked them out. But I'm going to show y'all how we did the same thing in Christian church. And I got a video from a few years ago that's posted on my backup channel that I'm going to share with y'all and show you what me and my sister did. But we labeled everything God and Satan, right? But it still worked. Linda, hey girl, hey. Good morning. What's up here? Tiffany, happy Monday, happy Monday. Mom, shalom, shalom. Belinda Brown. Hey, auntie. Okay, yeah, but we'll get into that after we get done with the reading today. I was like, man, if people would just calm down and just pay attention, just like pay attention, right? You don't have to believe me. Just do a little bit of research on your own. This is what throws a lot of our people off, and a lot of times that's why we stay in a state where we at, allowing other people to lord over us. And I'm gonna just keep my comments to myself. But I'm just like, y'all, I knew I was gonna lose some people. It's part of the process. Some people not ready to take their growth and understanding to another level. And that's okay. That's okay, because they may need to learn some other things before they can fully comprehend the next step. So with that being said, Audrey, shalom, shalom. Yeah, I decided after I saw a couple comments, I decided I would revisit what me and my sister did when we were still calling everything God and Satan while we was in the church. And it's not really for real. It's not really for real about the names that you use. Granted, that's a process that you go through, but when you actually get to it and you realize that all the power we have here is the source of one power, and it depends on the people who are using the unseen powers or the unseen help, that's what makes the big difference. That's what determines what we call good or evil, right? It's the output that the main conduit is, right? So if I was designed to set things on fire, everything that comes across my path that touches me, I'm going to set on fire. That's what I was designed to do. If I was designed just to heat things up just a little bit, just give it a little warmth to it, that's what everything is going to get when it comes across my path. If I was created to be a refrigerator and keep things cool, that's what I'm going to do when you come across my path, or you use my energy, you come in contact with me. I cool things off. That's what I'm going to do, right? If I'm a deep freezer, I'm going to freeze you deep, right? You're going to need some help unthawing. I'm sorry, that's the wrong word. You're going to need some help thawing, right? So I'm trying to teach people. Same thing in a Christian church. They change the terms of the energies being used sent from the creator, right? Especially the creator says, I create good and I create evil, right? Okay. Okay. Hold on. Dana said something. Hold on. Your comment was kind of broken up. Hold on. She said, I mean, I don't get it. As Christians, we say we are part spirit, so the spirit shouldn't do anything. There are Christians that have had out of body experiences and said they saw the light. Yeah, I don't get it. Some people just don't have experiences, so I can understand where they're coming from when they can't understand when we begin to talk about some of these things because they have no reference point. All they know is just the physical realm, this physical materiality. That's all they know. And they've only heard about things. Just like I like something. I learned this principle when I was still active duty military, and I heard it from Juanita Bynum. I know she's not big on the scene now. She's in the Christian church still. You know, I give her props where props is due. She's a really good teacher, right? But she gave this example, and she was talking about a strawberry and people who've never tasted strawberries but have only heard about strawberries, right? They could not really give you a good detailed explanation about what a strawberry is. Now they can mentally assent and tell you what they've learned about a strawberry, right? But those who have tasted strawberries, their definition and their explanation of what a strawberry is going to be extremely different, right? So a person that mentally is book smart, right? You just sit here for the sermons and you just gather up information and don't do anything with it. You don't go taste the pudding. You never show up to the actual lab class of the teaching, right? You get the information, you just go, I don't need lab. I don't need to practice any of that, right? You've never tasted the pudding or you've never tasted the strawberry. You're gonna say, yes, strawberries are red. They're covered in seeds. They have this little green patch of greenery that grows on the top of them. You can use hydroponics to grow them. You can grow them directly out of the ground. Like all this surface crap you're gonna give me about a strawberry. Uh, Somebody who's tasted the strawberries, please explain to me what a strawberry is. Oh my girl, it's so juicy. Oh, first of all, now they could tell you about the texture. You can squeeze it and stuff. She said, but let me tell you something. That first bite, ooh, and if it's just right and it's really right, as soon as you bite into it, the juice from it. I never knew a strawberry could be so juicy until I tasted my grandma's strawberries that she grew in her backyard. Girl, listen, they were so sweet. Oh, it was the right middle of the summer too. I bit into it. It was so sweet. The juices was running down my lips. It tasted like heaven. It's almost tastes. I don't know how to quite describe it. Have you ever tasted a cherry, a juicy cherry? Not quite like a cherry, but just as juicy. But the flesh on it, how it feels on you, like all of that. It's like, and somebody who's actually tasted the strawberry, it's like, hold on, sis, go on, get out of here. We don't want to hear nothing else you got to say. What you said now tasted like what? It's like even they're explaining to you about it, it captivates you because you've actually experienced, like, wait a minute, I've never, hold on, did you bring some strawberries with you? Can we taste it? Did you bring a sample for us? Or you just teasing us today? Right. So I don't want to tease you. So that's why I try to give you as much information as I have learned so you can at least taste the strawberry yourself. Right. Other people, girl, get out of here with the strawberry. Strawberry gonna kill you. You're going down the dark road that's gonna send you to death, and Satan is gonna torture you for the rest of your life. I'm like, boy, get out my strawberry class. Get out my strawberry class. Unsubscribe directly. Because you haven't been paying attention. If you've been here, I've been telling you all this time, I've been tasting strawberries, people. I'm over here spitting. But I want to share something with you. Zingo, Mazera, greetings. Jen, good morning. Oh, great spirit, Yah, let us give glory and praise to our Creator who gives life and who takes life away. Okay, sweet. Dana said I ordered my books yesterday. They'll be here tomorrow. It's going to be on and popping. You know what? I didn't say this much. Okay, so let me just go ahead and share this with you. Okay, so and I'll share. If you're watching this video today from the backup channel, right? Awaken to Truth dash backup channel. It's my backup channel, but it's actually that was my first channel, right? So go through and I'll put the link because it's not the community section is not open on the backup channel yet. So I'm going to have to just share the link to the video that we did many years ago, when everything we said and how we related to the unseen realm, we just black and white, God or Satan. I want to show you the video. Amanda, Grand Rising, Trina, hey girl, hey Twabu. But there's this video that me and my sister did, right? So y'all, I just kind of grew up learning about spiritual things and spiritual things happening to me, right? And some people just cannot relate. It's like all of the devil, stay away from it. But I'm telling y'all, it's not that. The more that I've grown over the years and the more research that I've done, and the more, once I got most of the spookiness out of me so I can actually interact with the unseen realm that's constantly talking to me and interacting with me. It's like, oh no, 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 no. So all these years I've been like, no, 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 don't say nothing to me. Why is you even showing up? Right. So then at some point you got to continue to ask questions, especially if that realm has always been helping you, right? And it's not there to harm me. Like, they ain't told me the pieces or nothing. Ever since I was a little girl, I've been having things happen to me, right? So this particular video that we did a few years ago, I want to say maybe like 2015, 2016. Like I said, I shared in the community section on this channel, the channel that we're doing now where all the lives are at. It'll be in the community section, and I'll reshare it on Facebook as well so y'all can see it. But we were learning about, a matter of fact, if you go Google it, just type in there like my channel name and Courtroom of Heaven. Right. So I was learning about some of the spiritual principles, and I was learning about the courtroom of heaven. That's when I realized, also going through the scriptures, you will see a lot of legal terms being used, right? Even in Proverbs and Psalm, different things. And it's just certain things I'm familiar with, especially being in the military and me being TAD to the security department, right? And taking weapons class, so I'm familiar with those things and being around lawyers and different stuff like that, right? So that's the type of information that I really like. Those are like the books I type of read, informational type things, right? So when they start, I couldn't see it until somebody began to point it out. I was like, well, darn it, yeah, there are a lot of legal terms being used through the Bible. It's talking about governments, all of these things. I was like, oh. So then at that point, I began, when I was reading through the Bible and I was reading through, when I was doing the videos then, I wasn't reading it word for word. I would read it and then give a summation of the 3 chapters a day for the whole year. But the Old Testament and the New Testament, that's what I did for quite a few years. And I didn't do those lives. They were kind of like pre-recorded, right? And if you go back then, you'll still see the shenanigans in my background. It's a few less children because we ain't had that many then. But you even see the process when Josiah was a baby and Isaiah was born, and he was in the video, like all the kind of crazy stuff. I was still hollering at my kids in the background. Go back and watch it, right? So, but what happened was, when I started learning about the courtrooms of heaven, they said you can petition the courtrooms of heaven just like you petition the courts here. And I'm like, well, oh, that's interesting. You know me, I'm a pudding taster. I'm like, okay, well, and like I said, at that time, it was still Jesus. It was still God. You know, I hadn't converted over. I hadn't transitioned to the Hebrew roots. So it was straight, I was straight Christianity, ride or die, right? So when you go back, don't let it, sometimes I'm like, ugh, I can't even get through some of my old videos, but it's like, it's the growth process, right? It was pretty funny. So what happened was, and at this time, my sister had not gotten her certification. She hadn't gone through school for nursing, but she was still in the nursing field. She's like been in the nursing field all her life. And she was just a CNA at that time, still working 12-hour shifts and everything. So something had happened with her. I was like, oh, this is the perfect time to test this out. I've been learning about the courtrooms of heaven and how to petition the courtroom of heaven, just like we petition the courts here. And we did it exactly like you would petition the court here. Won't nobody seeing this but us. Like, we didn't go to the magistrate's office. We didn't go down to the courtroom to file our complaint. We literally just did it like over the phone, because she was still living in Georgia at the time. And I was already here, but I was living in Newport News, right? Well, all of us who were living in Newport News, but her and her family, her daughters and stuff, they were still in Georgia. And so I was like, okay, Alicia, look. And this was a day she was really frustrated. She had, her power bill had gotten high, but she had made arrangements, right? Even simple things, right? That you can, it almost seemed, well, I know it to be true. And it sounds cliche, but it's really not, right? But I'm gonna just say it like this because y'all are familiar with it, right? If you can believe it, you can conceive it, right? And that's just the simplest way to put it, right? So as I was learning about it, because I was already familiar with the lingo of the police world and stuff like that, right? The military world, active duty, right? Deployments, all these things, working in security, dealing with the other patrolmen and all this stuff while out to sea, all of this. I was familiar with it. So I said, okay, well, yeah, let's do this. I've helped people write a couple things before in regards to that. Asked me, I was like, well, I'm not a lawyer, but I can tell you what I learned. People ask my advice. So I was like, well, here's the reference you need, right? It's like I'm a walking reference manual or a walking library. People just because they know I look into stuff. Well, have you, even if they don't absolutely know, well, do you know? So I know you got to know somebody, because I know you probably, I was like, yeah, here's who I know. I give you the reference. You go talk to them. I don't even want to start trying to. So I was like, okay, Alicia, look, this is the perfect time to use it. I was super excited in the video. When I watch it, I laugh. I'm gonna show two videos. I'm gonna show the one that I did, and I'm gonna show the one I said, girl, now you gotta do a video. Alicia's like, girl, I'm not doing a video. You just tell them what happened. I was like, no, they have to hear it from your mouth. Like, it's like, girl, give me a testimony or something. She's like, okay, Pam, she wasn't so perturbed with me after we got results, like immediate. I was like, God, this stuff works. It works. Okay, so she got off work, and they finally came and they finally cut her was it the yeah, Georgia, it was Georgia Power. They cut her power off, right? She had made arrangements. She had made, like, they say you got to put down this make this particular deposit, all this stuff, right? Okay. So make a long story short, she came home and her power was cut off. She had a long day at work, 12-hour shift, and she was working night shifts. So she getting off in the morning, right? And she was completely pissed. She had called and told me about it. She had called my mom, but my mom was still living in Georgia at the time. So they was still kind of uh, close proximity. And so I was like, Alicia, this is the perfect time to use what I've been learning about. I haven't really found anything where I could use it, but this is perfect. And she said, I could hear it all. She was like, she kind of like smacked the lips a little bit. Like, here she go with her stuff. And so I was like, Alicia, I promise, let's just try it. She said, okay. But she trusted me because she know stuff seems to work for me. So she was like, oh, Pam, this is not the time. My power's off. I got small kids and stuff. And she said, now I done already tried to call them and explain that I done paid this payment. But the woman said, no, this was the payment that was already, but you didn't make this payment here, right? And so she had went through all this craziness with Georgia Power. And you would get all the details because she's actually going to share the details. I'm just kind of summing it up for you, right? And she said, okay, Pam, what we need to do. I said, okay, this is what you do. Girl, go get a piece of paper. Go get a piece of paper. She said, okay. I said, and I'm going to write with you. I said, okay. At the top, I said, put a request from heaven. I said, okay, now we're going to write who the lawyer is, who the judge is, who the defendant is, and the person you going up against. I said, so write this out. Don't think I'm crazy, Alicia. Just write it out. I was writing it out too, because I keep a book. I still have the book with all the different prayers that I did. But instead of getting down on my knees, there's different ways you can petition the unseen realm, or petition God, or petition Yah for things that you need here. And there's not like one set way to do it. And I've just gone through a couple things, and I keep record of everything that I do. I was like, well, it worked there. It worked there. I can see them do it, and it worked. So it's not necessarily the formula or particular words. It really matters on what you can believe for. And all of these different things, it really matters. Do you have enough information, right? Are you educated enough? And not necessarily even educated, but if you could even fathom it, right, you could literally make a request to God, whoever, right? And it'll happen for people who pray to Buddha. Buddha answers their prayers. I'm like, well, how is this so, right? It's one force. People are taught about it from the different cultures, and they're calling this same source of one energy different things. But the source of energy doesn't seem to mind. We get all discombobulated and fighting one another because you ain't using my terminology, and it doesn't really matter. It's not even about all of that, right? Okay, let me back to the story. So I was like, okay, here's what you do. And I knew she thought I was nuts at this point. I said, okay, your judge is God, because he's going to make the final decision. She said, okay, I mean, we get that. Okay. I said, now your lawyer is King Jesus. I said, put Jesus beside lawyer. She said, okay, Pam. I said, now the complainant, I got the terms up there. I said you're making a complaint. I said, so you put you. And the enemy, she said, who the enemy, Pam? Dana said, I would have hung up on you. Look, I could hear it in her voice. I know my sister, but I knew she wasn't gonna hang up. If don't nobody listen, I know my sister gonna listen to me because we didn't try enough stuff growing up through our life to know that crazy stuff happens for us, right? I was like, girl, we must have been sisters in a past life or something too. I was like, I'm so glad I have the siblings that I have in this life because y'all probably the only and my parents, so y'all probably the only ones that don't think I'm crazy. But we get crazy results and stuff happens for us, right? Look. She said, I know your sister was calling you stuff in her head. She probably was. Boy, she was cursing like a sailor. Look, but she didn't do it. She said, okay, Pam. She said, and who am I going up against? Right? Kind of like, okay, I will humor you. Who am I going up against? I said, put Satan. She said, Pam, I said, good, just put it down. Put Satan. I said, but also put Georgia Power, because Georgia Power is in cahoots with Satan because they came and cut your power off, right? And so she was like, all right, Pam. I said, okay, now we got to craft our request. I said, what you want? She said, what I want? Girl, I want my power cut back on. I said, okay, we'll keep it short and sweet. Request. Alicia, and I said her last name, wants her power cut back on. She has been what the words I use? I got it up there, but I remember the exact words, but the gist of it, I was like, Georgia Power unlawfully came and cut her power off when she had already made arrangements, and we want retribution for this, right? And we want her power cut back on today, right? So now she'll tell you the story. Georgia Power from their end, like, ma'am, you have to go make this payment and then we'll put you on the schedule. She tried everything. I got young kids in the house, right? All the stuff. They don't care. Georgia Power, they when I say, look, if you ask me back then, I would say, man, Georgia Power is in cahoots with Satan all the time. They don't care. They just like Comcast, right? They all in cahoots. This whole system is ran by Satan, right? Look, that's how I talked back then because I was full-blown Christian. But I knew things worked. I couldn't tell you exactly how, but I knew things worked, Trina. I would have been like, she tripping, but I would have done it too. Right? Right? Because if you've grown up with me, you know, okay, look, well, let's just try this. Right? If you don't believe nobody else, you will know, well, I don't know what she got going on with her, who helps her, but things seem to happen. Okay, what you say, dude? I'm going to just let you know, this sounds crazy, and I think you're retarded. But I seen stuff work for you. Like even my grandma, she's like, Pam, you got this stupid kind of faith. I was like, I wouldn't necessarily call it that, but I just believe stuff. I have like this childlike faith and I get super excited about stuff. And I think that's what helps me, right? Because and probably why I got so many darn kids, right? We like this all day long, you know. So I was like, when we get our superpowers, it's like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out now, right? I be hyping my kids. Some people like, you know what? Let's keep a watch on this girl. We gonna send her where she need to be. It's a whole lot of people just like you want to see you right there to that house that they had. I'm like, nope. Or if you send me there, I'm gonna break all of them free. We're gonna be a bunch of crazy people. No, I ain't going crazy, y'all, for real. Okay, let me get back to the story. So we wrote out our petition, right? And we said when we wanted to see results, and we said today. I said, okay. So I said, now that we have our petition, read over it. I said, now, before we call and do it, I said, just thank the judge. Thank God for the victory right now before we even do it. Just know you won your case. She said, okay, Pam. And you could tell when she do her response video, she gonna give you the full feel. She's like, look, I was tired. And my sister, I'm like, okay, you know, I'm gonna share it with y'all. And so I said, okay, now call back. She said, okay. I said, now put me on three-way though. So I need to hear what's happening. And she said, okay. So she called them on three-way. And so I told her before we did, I said, okay, if all else fails, look, I said, if all else fails, I will pay the money to get your power back on. Because I just had that much faith that it was going to work, right? Your kids asked me about their superpowers. Dana, You got to taste the pudding first, right? They don't come like right away, like, oh, we can fly now. No, it starts little, right? You got to taste the pudding, which is why I'm giving y'all things in lab class. So start you tasting the pudding. I try to give y'all as much detail and as much information that I've learned to get all the spookiness away, right? Okay. And so, but this is the same exact thing we did on the Christian side, just calling it different things. But our faith was still the same. We believed it. Okay, and just like I told you with the magical cat, call it magic. People get thrown off by the word magic, right? I realized we're doing the same exact thing. We took the request and we wrote it down. We believed it. Boom. Okay, and it happens. I don't know. It just happens. Maybe it's just our faith that causes things to happen. And for people who don't believe, things don't happen. But that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you've been alive long enough in this earth, right? If you don't believe something going to happen for you, if you got a bad attitude or everything goes wrong for you, everything continues to go wrong for you. It's like you can't seem to catch a break. I know people like that. Now I know family members who have that attitude, and I'm like, girl, something is always going on with you. And their attitude, they have that attitude where ain't nothing never gonna go right, ain't never gonna go right, I don't even know why I'm here. I'm like, that's why don't nothing go right for you. You don't expect anything better to happen for you, right? Me, I always got a positive outlook on everything, which is probably why we get all kinds of crazy stuff, right? I was like, oh, don't worry about that. Yeah, no, we'll get it done. Like, seriously, that's my attitude all the time. I have this natural energy, this natural high, right? Which is why I probably could never really use drugs. I used to smoke weed, but I got enough energy. I know how to pull my energy from the resources of the earth. And now I know how to meditate too. Oh, just give me a couple minutes. Let me just, if I'm tired, I know what to do. I can go meditate or I can go pray in tongues. That's something somebody, when I was working in the shipyards, after I got out the military, I was struggling trying to stay woke in the morning. And he knew I was kind of like this church girl, whatever. He said, I'm gonna teach you a little secret. Older guy, been working the shipyard for years, but he was young. He was like in his 40s at the time. I was young 20s, right? He said, I'm gonna teach you a secret. I know you go to church. He said, you pray in tongues? I said, yeah. He said, if you find yourself getting tired, you cannot stay woke. He said, just pull yourself away, go take a bathroom break or something. He said, pray in tongues for about 15 minutes. He said, and you'll feel the energy come. And then he walked away. So I'm just like, okay. And that was before I had learned about the book that we read not too long ago, Walk of the Power, Walk of the Spirit. So when I was reading through that book, I remember that guy just coming to me, telling me, I was like, okay, people know about this stuff, but they don't really teach it for real that will really help people out. Okay. I keep going off into side trails. Back to the story. So she called Georgia Power. And Georgia Power comes on. I said, listen, I said, now don't say anything. Don't say, I said, don't lead them on in any kind of information. Just let them pull up your record and tell you what they see, right? So she called and she said, and she just kind of gave no, and she said, okay, I'm just calling to see when they're, I said, tell them, I said, call them, you made your payment. And before we made this call back, she had actually called them a couple times, but every time she did, she kind of like went through the story. What she did was like, well, ma'am, we don't see that, you need to make this payment, and then in a couple days we can get out there, at least like the next day or whatever, and get your power back on, get you on the list, all this stuff, right? I said, do not do any of that. I said, give this opportunity a chance to work by you not feeding into anything. I said, just let the powers work by themselves. I said, call them and let them know you're trying to see when they're going to, you've already made your payment and you're trying to see about what time they're going to be back out here today to cut your power back on. She said, okay. So I said, but put me in a three-way. I need to hear this. Right? Because mind you, it was my first time. This was my first time using what I learned. This was the best opportunity at the time to use this, but I've used it many times since then. So she called and she was like, well, yes, okay. Let me pull this up. Okay, yes, I see you make the payment. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put in this order right now. Okay, yep. So they'll be out there between, I think, like 10 and 2 today to cut your power back on. And she said, Alicia, she just had to say something because my sister's not the type of person who wants to get over on people, right? Because the conversations they had before, no, you need to pay a little bit more. This was not the full price. And she was saying, well, they told me all I needed to pay was $200. No, the whole overdue portion needs to be paid. And y'all know, if y'all got dominion power, you know, if once they cut your power off, like if you have like past due amount of like $500, say your bill is like $1,000, and you have a past due amount of $500, as long as your power is still on, you can still pay something on it and them not cut your power off. But if you completely ignore them, if they cut your power off, you have to pay that entire past due amount plus a deposit and a reconnection fee. How I know that happened a couple times. Figured out a little tricks of the trade back in the day, and we figured out if we would just pay $50 every single time, they wouldn't cut our power off. Because and we realized it kept pushing the extension date out further, because you go up there, you only got a week's extension. Put $50. You got to put at least $50 on your Dominion power bill, and you don't have to call anybody. Log out, go back in the next day, ask for an extension. You will see that it's giving you a week extra extension date. So if you needed more time, that was a little trick that we learned from getting our power cut off a couple times. Shouldn't you probably remember that, because the kids asked to come stay at your house one day during the summer. James was fire hot, pissy, mad with me, because I'm gonna find a way to make you laugh and make a joke. I was like, well, at least we ain't got to worry about them coming to cut our power off no more. Because the power was already out. Y'all, when I say he was mad with me, he was mad with me. But I was laying there laughing. It was so funny to me. They had me running around here, you know, all full of anxiety. Oh my gosh, the power gonna be cut off today. Here, I'm trying to cook food and all this kind of crazy stuff. Okay, back to the story, y'all. Okay, so they called the woman. I said, just don't say anything. She said, yes, I paid my deposit, and I just want to know exactly when they're going to be back out here today to cut my power back on. She said, okay, let me just verify a couple things. And you hear the clicking. And I'm like, I'm over there on the phone like, doing like, and she said, okay, ma'am, I got everything set up. They'll be back out there today between like 10 and 2, and your power will be cut back on. And my sister was like, okay, are you sure? And you see the payment that I made. She said, yep, I see right here the notes that say that you were required to pay this much, and I see you paid this much. So I've already put the order in, so it's already going through. But yes, the notes are here. Everything, I see everything, and your power will be back on. And she's saying, you're absolutely positive. Okay, and what time? You know, and I'm over there like, and so she said, okay, ma'am, thank you. When she hung up the phone and clicked back over, she said, Pam, I said, it works. I said, girl, it works. And we were screaming. She said, oh my God, oh my God. Right. I said, now do a video for me. So I can show people. I said, I'm trying to help people. We're trying to learn about, so literally all my life, y'all, I've been struggling to learn about spiritual things, because I really haven't had like a spiritual teacher to teach me about some of the crazy stuff that's been happening to me. You just hear like generic sermons and stuff, and you get some good ones if you have a pastor something that had some supernatural experiences. But some of the stuff I experienced, even with the dreams and the visions and stuff, I'm like, there's nobody to teach me what's happening with me, you know. So, but I'm gonna share those 2 videos with y'all. And like I said, that was like 2015 when that happened, and I was still full blown God Jesus Christian, but it still worked because that's all I knew and that's what I believed, right? And nothing has changed except for my understanding of what spiritual things are and how we relate to the unseen realm and spiritual gifts and how healing and all of that takes place, which is why it doesn't just happen in the Christian church. What I found out, if you've been part just of the Christian church, you would think only this kind of power resides here. But if you go to other places, and I've traveled the world through the military, I was like, well, hold on. How did you get healed? And you didn't say the name of Jesus at all. Who you worship? And I'm like, no, Satan had to have something to do with that. But it's like, and you watch things and you just I kind of keep tabs on things, and I keep going back to check. I'm like, okay. But they seem that in the way they talk about it is so grateful, and they're talking like to the creator because of their language, they're calling him something else. But I can still genuinely tell that they're talking about the same creator that I worship. I call him something different, but I feel like that. You can like feel it. It's like, we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about the same being here. Like, I can feel it. I know it, you know, and that used to intrigue me. I was like, okay, how is this happening for them? But they're not a Christian. we doing this over here, and sometimes we may go overboard, and whatever. That's how we taught the emotions and everything and worship, and ain't not really wrong with that for real. But I'm like, I need to step away and figure out what's going on, because how you getting the same results over here that we getting over here, and you don't profess or claim to be what we are over here. And that really intrigued me, so I'm just like, I get everything is going on the inspection table. You going on the table. You going on the table. Who you worship, put him on the table too. I got some questions for him. I got some questions for your guy. What's her name? You call her, him, them, whatever. Everybody going on the table, because all this stuff seems the same to me. And it seems like the barrier is our language and our culture, right? So I get kind of excited about this because of my results. You just call me Inspector Gadget. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's I don't know. I don't know. Where we at? Oh my gosh, we at 35 minutes. Hold on. Nzingo Mazera said, I'm in a stage. I hear voices in my mind and I'm scared because I have no idea if they're negative or positive voices and don't know how to interact. There is that fear in me. I would say ask them. Like, seriously, I got to the point because couldn't really tell anybody, girl, you hearing voices? Okay. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I should just ask questions, right? I just started let my military training kick in, like the detailed stuff. I was like, okay, like interview. You hearing? If you really hearing a voice outside of yourself, but inside of you, first of all, my G, I don't even think you should be there. Why are you in my head? Right? Like seriously, just it may sound funny or whatever. Seriously, ask questions. Like if you're hearing recurring dreams and something is chasing you, but you too scared and you always taking off running, remember, it's a dream. Stop. You can't get hurt in your dreams. Stop running. Turn around. Ask it why it's chasing you. Like, seriously, the fear that's built up in us when we come through the Christian church because they give us the black and white is either God or the devil, right? Is we can never grow. And the only growth we get is like that spiritual, but without the truth, right? You want to use the scriptures? Worship Yah in spirit and in truth, right? You just can't be a ignorant spirit-filled person, and a lot of times that's what we are until we start growing up a little bit. It's like we're toddlers. We crying, we're throwing fits because we don't know what to do. Ain't nobody taught us how to use our words yet. That's what we do a lot of times. We're not spiritual. We're freaking immature spiritual toddlers, and we're throwing fits. Y'all gotta stop that. This was like, come on, y'all. We gotta go up another level. It's time to get out of pre-K. We need to move into kindergarten, right? And that's what this is. But I would say simply ask questions. Like seriously, ask the question. They've been communicating, or if you think it's God or Satan, ask them a freaking question. First of all, who are you? If you want to know God or the devil, first of all, who are you, my G? Is you God or is you the devil? Forgive my English, but I'm doing it on purpose. Right? And if it say I'm the devil, after you get through the fear part, I'm like, okay, devil, what you want? Right? And so it like seriously, if it come back and say I'm the devil, like, okay. What's funny is you may not even be to this point, but I can joke about it because sometimes I'll be having whole conversations and I say with y'all in and out because I can clearly at this point I can tell the difference between. I know it's gonna sound crazy, y'all. Just go with me while I explain this to y'all. I can tell the difference now between the voices that I hear. I can tell if it's the voice of who I know as the creator, or if it's another voice like what I would call, okay, this is a angel that's coming to help me, but it's like passing instructions. I can tell the difference between those voices. That I know that sounds crazy to some people. Oh, you naming and talking to your voices now. It's not really that, y'all, for real. If you had out of body experiences, if you've been tasting the pudding, you realize it is actually people there. You just can't see them. You think you're going crazy, but it's somebody really there, right? And if they would teach us about this the right way, we wouldn't be having to do this in the morning. We would already know, but we don't. Right? The information has been stripped from us for a very long time, and we're just now getting the courage, right, to start looking back into it. We're realizing people from the other side or whatever, they kind of dripping the information, or they being sloppy and things are getting loose and we grabbing hold. So it's like, wait a minute, hold on, I knew, so. But anyway, I would just say, just ask, don't be scared. Like the fear is literally unfounded. And the only reason we have a fear is because, first of all, if you're in the West, well, I can't just say in the Western world, but because I'm here and I know, especially if you've been taught about a certain thing all your life, that's what you believe it is until you begin to do investigations yourself, right? And it seems fearful. We are afraid. That's one of the biggest fears of humankind. We fear the unknown. What we don't know, we won't fool around with it. And if you come out to church, we won't fool with the devil, right? Christians don't fool with the devil. Black people don't fool with the devil. It's kind of funny. It's not racist. But you kind of see this said, white people be like, Billy, is that you? While black people taking off running. I know that's like this running type joke, literally. But it's funny. But I kind of found it, well, not in all cases, because I got, I be using white and black, but it's not to sound racist, because I have a few white friends, right? Especially like in the military. It's like, girl, we don't play with the devil. We grew up with black people, right? And it's funny. We can be free around one another, right? It's not that whole big race thing between us, So some of the jokes and stuff that we kind of talk about that stuff, and it's kind of funny. But a lot of the fears we have is unfounded. And it's unfounded because we don't understand. And that's something that I was taught about when I was TAD, or temporarily assigned duty, while I was in the military. And they said, people fear what they don't understand. And if you don't understand, that means you don't know, right? So it's the fear of the unknown. And so, which is why people who have authority or carry a badge or are authorized to carry weapons, first of all, you need to know that about the public. The public fears the unknown, right? They will throw riots if they don't understand. And a lot of times they don't understand the authority you have. So you should be aware of that and operate accordingly, like they don't know, which we need to be on our guard, make sure they ain't up to no shenanigans. But if you can truly tell that they don't understand what your position is and why you are here and how you are to help them, you need to make sure that they understand it. And so I've been doing my best to try to help y'all understand. I'm not here to hurt y'all, lead y'all off into a dark path anyway. I'm simply sharing with y'all my experiences, and I'm giving you the resources because you've been asking, so you can taste the pudding yourself. And I recommend you don't just sit here and listen to me talk all the time. Go develop your own relationship with the Creator, right? Taste the pudding. Have some supernatural things happen to you, right? Because it's there for the taking. We're literally here. Earth is a school, y'all. Earth is a school. A lot of people still don't realize that Earth is a school for the spirits. We are spirits, and our vehicle that we drive in this realm with is this flesh and blood, right? Okay. I don't know how much more clear I can make that, right? So, but okay, but like I said, I understand some people gonna come, some people gonna go. Some people just they haven't gotten past that whole spookiness. You know what? I'm gonna still roll this way. Y'all off into something I don't really understand. So, I'm gonna pray for y'all. Okay, well, thank you, but don't cause no problems over here. We ain't messing with y'all, right? Okay. Let's go. We ain't gonna get them. Look, we ain't gonna get my big toe today either. So I said I was gonna share it afterwards, but I shared it now, and we already at 43 minutes. So I think we'll have enough time just to read the rest of this last little bit of section, which is really, I'll be done with it in like maybe like 2 minutes. Ooh. And the next section is a cipher lexicon. Oh my gosh. It's like a dictionary. It go from A to Z. I'm gonna read it though. I'm gonna read it because some of these terms y'all might have heard and trying to figure it out. Okay, we might not get through all of that today. When I say it's like a synonym dictionary, y'all. Ugh. Okay, well, let's get through this, and we'll start tablet I tomorrow. It's called Book of Inform Cipher Lexicon. All right. So the last little section, literally like the last paragraph of tablet, which is this tablet H. Yeah, tablet H, which is called Book of Headaches and Demonology. That's what this is. Yesterday we read Devils and Demons of Babylon, Fevers, Evil Spirits, and Headaches. This last section is Causes of headache, disease, and possession, according to the Serpu tablet series. And this doesn't scare me either, because even while I was a Christian in a Christian church or whatever, I was going through my research, researching out angels and demons, right? Angels and demons. So some of these things are familiar with me even while I was out to sea. It's like my training follows me wherever I go. Things that I initiate when I'm home, when I go away, when I went out to sea, there was always somebody there to make sure that I kind of, not that they even knew it, but they were always there where I would be. If I would go to the chapel, it was always somebody there. I'll never forget this guy, Petty Officer Hester, right? And I didn't know it, but he was a part of a squadron, and squadrons are not normally with the ship's crew. They're like their own division, and we only really interact with them when we go out to sea because they train with us. So I didn't all the time that I had been attached to my aircraft carrier, which was the Theodore Roosevelt. When we went out to sea, the first time, my first deployment, Petty Officer Hester and his squadron, they came aboard for the 6 months. But I didn't know he was actually outside of the military civilian world. He was a pastor. And I didn't even know that for a couple months, but he had started a Bible study. And they would always find me in the chapel anyway on my off time, right? And I would just be in there, read my Bible, just chilling out because it was quiet in there. It was loud in my berth with all the other women and stuff. And if I wasn't sitting on the mess decks eating, I would just find a quiet place, and I would go into the chapel. But he would also do the same thing, preparing for like this little Bible study. And then one particular time, people started coming in. I was already sitting in there. They just kind of started doing their thing. And it was like, "Sister, you want to join us?" I'm like, what y'all doing? Are we just about to have a little Bible study? I was like, well, okay. I mean, I am reading the Bible. So, okay, yeah, I'll join. It was a cool, and I met a whole different group of people. But he actually, during that particular first deployment, he actually bought his notes that he had at church that he was taking his congregation through on demonology. And I'm just like, this is like a weird coincidence, because before I came out here, I had started this study on angels and demons. And I literally, my grandma be giving me a bunch of references. I got the references from her. She said, look, go through this. And this was when she was still a little bit younger. She was a part of this particular group. It was called the School of the Prophets, right? And my family was a part of that for a period of time. I was a child. We was just sitting in the back, cutting up, being loud, being kids and stuff, making jokes, cussing on the low back there while they having service. You know what kids be doing, right? So, but she had this book and she had printed out all their lessons and stuff, and she put it in a 3-ring binder. And so she said, when you go out for your med crew, she said, continue your study, take this with you. And I took it with me and I was studying it, So I showed her, I was like, oh, that's good. I kind of got some of the same stuff, but just kind of different. He had more stuff than what was in the binder that my grandma gave me. And he literally had the study that he had, the not on well, he had the study of like angels and demons, but his study was completely about demonology. And it had like a whole different array. It went into details about different demons and stuff. And I'm like, I said, first of all, I said, is this legal for you to be having like this much stuff? This look like Satanism stuff. He started laughing. He said, no, he said, it's really just giving a good detail, breaking down the powers and the ranks. He was talking military. It's just like we have ranks here in the military. He said, it's literally breaking down the powers and the ranks, the principalities, the powers, the different types of spirits. And it was intriguing to me. I was like, yes, I want to be a part of this study. So when I get to stuff like this, some people, it may freak some people out, but I've been doused in this really good. So some stuff don't freak me out like it did when I first came in contact with it. Like, oh, wait, I'm not trying to go the route of Satanism. I shouldn't be learning about this, because they tell you don't even look at it, don't even. But it keeps you from learning, because if you're being attacked by if you're being attacked by somebody who understands this stuff, but you can't even recognize it, what are you gonna do? Like, seriously, what are you gonna do? Because a lot of time it seemed like Jesus will leave you to get your tail toe off until somebody come and help you cast out the devil or something. But a lot of time we scream and holler and cry looking for somebody to help us, and we don't know what to do because we're scared to look into it. You know what? The military has taught me really well to know your enemy, right? Know your enemy. Some people you think is your enemy is not really your enemy. It's just kind of disguised because you don't understand, but it's really forces there to help you, right? I'm just like, yo, this is so good. Was it the King James book on demonology? I don't remember the title of it, but he had like this thick manual and like this extra information that he pulled together himself, and he made a binder of it, and he was sharing it with us, and he was making copies of it. I wish I would have kept some of that stuff, but getting out of the military, getting married. Well, yeah, I was in the military, getting married, and trying to mesh together, moving 15 billion dozen 11 times because we hadn't got our finances in order, losing stuff. Some of that stuff kind of got washed away doing translation to more stable places. So I lost some stuff. But I had copies of it. Even the one that my grandma gave, it kind of got lost in one of the shenanigans. We couldn't keep our places. It's crazy. That's another story. Oh, the book is online. Okay, I'll take a look at it. I make myself a note, and I can probably tell if it's the King James book of demonology. All right, I'll look and see if that's the one, because I'll notice it if I see it. What does it mean to flee Babylon? You really want my take on what that means to me now? Joy, shalom. I know she said I've been MIA, gotta catch up. Life happens, sis. Life happens. Azalea new song, because it means something totally different to me today than it did about this time last year, right? It completely means something else to me. What does it mean to flee Babylon? Okay. Ooh, look. Did y'all see that post I posted in the community section today? Where it says birds. Hold on. What is it? Hold on, let me get it right. This is a good answer to your question. Birds born in cages think flying is a disease. Yeah, I think that's what it said. Birds born in cages think that flying is a disease. And it has the head of a human with a bird cage on top, birds inside of it. I was trying to find that one, a good clear picture of the one with the bird cage actually open, right? Because you weren't trapped. This is a mental captivity, people. Like, as we transition, because we're free for, I mean, okay, there's different levels of free, right? If you want to talk about races of people, different people that's been bulldozed by other groups of people that had more power, or were, let's just say, better organized than other groups of people, where they're able to come in and bulldoze them, take their land, take everything, strip their identity from them. And it wasn't just black people. They did it to every nation of people except their own. And then those of their own who they think are lesser than what they are, they try to they filter out the ranks. They try to get rid of the weakest links, right? And they'll classify them and put them over here with those of people that they don't think are of their caliber, right? They've done it to everybody, not just us. But it as time changes and dispensations change and we go into the future, there is a little more freedom that we have. It's always been, it's at this point, it's a mental slavery. It really is, and it has been for a very long time, right? We're it, with the exception of COVID and some of the rules and stuff that they're putting in place, but we're free to move about, do whatever we want to do, right? We really are, and nobody can stop us if we understand who we are and the resources available to us. Ain't nobody gonna stop us. Like, who gonna stop us? Right? Fleeing Babylon means to free the mental slavery, because if you look at it, Babylon, some people think Babylon is just here in America. No, it's not. Babylon is everywhere. Where you gonna run to? Where they don't have the same crap going on. Like, really, where you gonna run to? People in America waiting to go to Africa, but in some places look like Africa in the worst state than what we are over here. Like, why we want to go over there? And some people like The ones over here, they ain't crazy. I was like, listen, because they still waiting for this outside, based on the stories we were given, they're still waiting on this outside deliverer to come and take us back to our homeland. But first of all, we still fighting over what a homeland is. Don't nobody really know. Or some people, oh, we know exactly this. Okay, I give you that. Okay, based on the stories we were given and the movie that's playing out before us, I give you that. I'm not gonna fight with you, But can you get over there? So now you gotta wait. It's always been this waiting game. It's always been having you to delay the process of where doing the thing you need to do. It's all they teach you to always pass the buck to somebody else. And that's why we never accomplish or gain anything. That's why we can't grow, because we're always in this waiting game. Whether it's Jesus coming to take us to heaven and we just sit there, we do what we need to do. But if you really pay attention to it, it paralyzes you from doing anything. You can't grow because you're constantly waiting, because you're too afraid that you might miss it. Jesus is coming today. I need to make sure I'm ready, that I'm here. Like seriously. And that's not to make fun of anybody, because I'm just saying, as you grow, you can start getting pissed off with Jesus. Why ain't this happened yet? Like, we've been waiting for you for a very long time, right? And then they add stuff in there and say it's gonna be those people that say we've been waiting all this time. We've been waiting 2,000 years and he ain't came. It's like they make a mockery of you when they make fun of you and make fun of it ahead of time, so, in order to discourage you from even saying that and asking that question. Well, why is we still waiting? And here's what something, before I got to the point where I'm at today, I was watching some stuff, some like older clips with Martin Luther King, right? And granted, it hasn't been that long since he's passed away. But if he was already back then talking about the 400 years of slavery, I'm like, well, oh my goodness. We definitely in the 2000s, and he died in the 1900s. I'm like, well, we in the 2000s. Huh. Something ain't right. Okay. Well, they calculated it wrong. If y'all go back, they keep moving the timeline. I'm like, something is wrong about this. Something is wrong about this. And it's always been that way. They're going to keep moving the timeline, right? And if you stay a part of that, if you that's the great delusion, people, to keep you inactive from doing anything. That's why I'm like, hey, wake up, my G. Ain't nobody coming to get us. The person you waiting for, you've been knowing them all your life. It's you. You have to break yourself free. It's a mental slavery, my G. Listen, we're spirits. Like, they didn't even teach you what it is for real. They're not teaching you what the school is. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's just set up like this on the earth, and it's like this everywhere. It's not just here in America. It's like this everywhere. That's the real game of this level of this whole earth school. First of all, and it happens when you begin to ask questions yourself, because that's when growth really happens. You have to realize something ain't right. Something ain't right. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. When you begin to ask questions, that's when school begins for you. But if you just going along, everybody come on, just stay in line, don't get out, you're just gonna keep going around in a circle. It's gonna keep happening for decades, right? That's how this game, how this level was designed. We put you in there and you have to wake up on your own. Now we're gonna put clues, we're gonna leave little things to get your attention. A lot of times they teach you, and that's a part of the game. It's a part of the growth process. We want to see it's like men, guys, the process is everywhere. It's just like men releasing their seed into a woman. The strongest will survive. We're gonna race, and it's like those that don't make it through. It's like the sheep being led to the slaughter. We're gonna pass them out in the drought, right? If you're gonna going around that mountain 40 years, we're gonna keep on going until you got those. Like, hold on, hold on, wait, what? Oh no, I ain't doing this. I ain't doing this no more. Hold on, go ahead. Y'all pass. Everybody pushing against you. You doing like this, and they keep on going. What you stop for? I'm like, wait, just walk around me. So I've been like, walk around me. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm gonna make my way to the edge, and you get to the edge, stick your head up, bop, get back in line. Somebody, and it causes you to grow strength. It literally strengthens you. It's like working out in the gym. It gets tiring, but you got to keep going. And the more you go against the grain or whatever, You're getting stronger. You're gaining muscle, so you're able to lift yourself up a little bit higher. You become a little bit wiser, and you can see what's going on. You can see the strategy. Like, wait a minute, y'all don't see what's going on. Hey. Then you jump back in real quick, trying to go through the line. Y'all seen Divergent when everybody they clicked on them where everybody was now robots except for the ones who were divergent, and they looking around like, wait a minute, and they got smart. They hold on, we're gonna go around, and they're like, not to bring attention to themselves, but they trying to figure out those who are woke like them, just trying to play along till they figure out what's going on. Hey,
why are you yelling, dog?
I'm yelling. I get so excited.
I understand, but God, you ain't gotta yell like you yell. I know the neighbors hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm yelling, y'all. Ain't nobody told me I was yelling.
Are you supposed to?
They probably can't. They probably can't tell.
I live with you, so I mean, God,
it's kind of like that, right? And so it's like we waking up, and it's like, hey. So that's exactly what it's like, y'all. So you threw me off my train of thought. Why I was even saying all that? Thomas, why you so loud?
I mean, I shouldn't throw you off.
Hold on, let me think about what I was saying. I forgot, y'all. You do. You have that effect. It's just like, okay, y'all. But y'all get what I'm saying, right? It's like that. If you don't, oh, I know what I was saying. What does it mean to flee from Babylon? You have to mentally wake up and recognize what's going on around you, and you have to literally step out of the matrix. You have to choose to come out of the matrix, because it's designed, it's going to keep evolving, and every generation is going to look a little bit different because of the different people who are being born into the matrix, right? And it's going to change. Technology is going to change. The games are still going to be the same. It's just going to look a little bit different as we progress in generations, y'all. But it's never going to stop. That's how it was designed. But it's the best program to, what I realized, it's the best program that helps the spirits to grow and develop. Because first of all, you have to become aware of what's happening, right? Let's see if they figure this out. And it seemed like unseen forces, sometimes it seemed like they get a kick out of this. And I'm just like, and y'all hear me say it a lot of time, throw me a freaking bone here. I know something is happening. But it's like, you got to show a little initiative before they give you another clue or whatever, right? It literally is a game, people. It really is. Dane, I do the same thing. My family's like, why is you yelling? I'm like, I didn't know I was loud. Okay. Look at me taking deep breaths for
No, babe, I ain't nothing like that. Because you ain't giving me mind what we do in the morning. We ain't do our ritual.
I did, but I mean, I know it was kind of cut short because you was calling the halls. I know I should have just woke you up.
Listen, stay to the script, right?
You started. I know, babe. I know.
And after 20 years, you have to keep.
I'm sorry, I'm paying attention.
I'm about to throw this dog.
Forgive me.
You keep on playing with me.
Don't you do that.
You keep on playing with me.
They're gonna see us fighting today. I ain't one of them Hebrew rides. Just master what you say. No, we're gonna knock this computer. Wait, throw some water on me if you broke. Look, James, quick.
Test me if you want to.
Quick. James,
you know doggone bit. Don't you test one.
Look, you want to see Miss Sophia?
You ain't know who.
Miss Sophia home.
The script that you didn't see was Miss Sophia got beat down.
Don't play with me. Right. Pass the peas. Look, look, I'm playing. Babe, stop.
Pass him.
Oh, Miss Sophia home. Pass the peas. Okay. All right, y'all. Yeah, so look, look, I ain't read nothing. Look, okay. All right, let me read this. Okay. We just filled up the time. It's gonna take me like 3 minutes to read what's left. Okay. Causes of headache, disease, and possession, according to the Serpu tablet series. The person who has sinned against his God, sinned against his goddess, performed the unknown sin against his God, performed the unknown sin against his goddess, misconducted himself before the God, misconducted himself before the goddess, made his God and goddess angry with him, sought undue secrets of the gods of heaven, sought undue secrets of the temple shrines of earth, slighted what is due to the gods, sought undue favor of the gods at the temple shrines, offered impure sacrifice at the altar of offering, offered sacrifice to the gods and taken it back, destroyed the sacrifice made at the altar of offering, obstructed the sacrifices made by another, caused obstruction between comrades, friends, family, eaten the flesh of his sacrifice at the altars of offering, held hatred towards an elder, shed his neighbor's blood, propositioned their neighbor's wife, propositioned their neighbor's husband, used a false balance in business affairs, removed or misplaced a boundary or landmark, unjustly entered their neighbor's house, taken their neighbor's garment, stolen or caused another to steal, said no for yes and yes for no, and in brackets it has lying, been straight in the mouth but not true in the heart. Ooh, that's you've been straight in the mouth but lying but not true in the heart. I ain't never heard that said like that before. I'm gonna have to use that one day.
Why don't you just practice on living it?
Don't start. Like I be living a vagabond life. Don't do that because there's some people that ain't really grown up and don't know that you full of shenanigans and be playing around. They gonna think, oh, she lived like hell for real off camera, and I don't. Some of them can't take those kind of jokes yet. Come put your face in here. Don't be doing that to me.
No,
it's all.
I'm joking. For real, I'm joking. But okay. You are Hebrew, right? But anyway.
Call me what you want. But you know, what? You swing, I'm swinging back.
No, you're not.
Oh, I'm not?
Let me get this water again. You want to try?
Maybe they need to throw some water on me. I swear for Bob today, you throw some water on me.
I'm about to run this house soon. Yeah. Play with me. Now I gotta go to work. I ain't got time.
Yeah, because you be changing all your clothes.
Who cares? I got plenty of these uniforms I wear.
They're gonna be called the boss is not here. Yeah. He had a bit of an accident.
I got more enough guys.
He had to change his clothes.
So I'm good. Trust me. I could spend the whole day playing with you today.
Bye, Mr. Murphy.
Oh, I'll get kicked out.
Give me a kiss and go and get out of here.
Oh, so okay. Must be good. Somebody.
All right, babe. I'm be waiting for you when you come into the door today too.
Somebody.
Okay. Been straight in the mouth.
Patty Bell said, somebody love you.
Somebody loves you, baby. Oh, somebody loves you, baby. Yeah, boo. Hold on.
Mom, you be done with the bubble.
Yeah, I'll be done like in one quick second. Let me finish this.
Mom,
okay.
What's next Dr. Back? What's you and Jemai going?
Appointment today, 4:30. I'm gonna come pick you up from the job site. Boy, you look like your night was rough. Love you, son. Okay.
Mom.
All right.
Mom.
What? Oh wow, what's wrong? What you mean you don't feel good? Like, are you for real? Okay, give me a second. I'm almost done with this. Let me end this. Okay. All right, y'all. Let me quit playing. Let me end this real quick. Okay. Been straight in the mouth, but not true in the heart. Promised pleasure and pure joy, but not given it. Spoken of what is unholy. Spoken wickedness. Caused a judge to receive a bribe. Wronged his city. Opposed one in authority under Marduk. Give in small things, but refused in great. Transgressed the righteous, offended the righteous, set their hand to evil acts, set their hearts to follow after evil, stopped a neighbor's canal or water supply, been banned of weapons but seeks them, set his hand to evil sorceries and witchcraft, pointed at the holy fire, taken a prolonged seat in the sun, and it has in brackets sunstroke, struck the young man of an animal, tearing up plants in the desert, tearing of plants and trees, raised a fire and falsely sworn by a god, has tasted from the unclean cup, has tasted from the unclean plate. And the last one is has tasted from the unclean dish. So according to this, if you get headache, disease, or possession, and just in the Christian church, because some of this stuff we see in the Bible, right? In the Torah, moving the boundary markers, proposition, your neighbor's wife or husband, all that stuff we see in the Torah. But they say the cause of headache, disease, or possession is because we've violated something, right? And sometimes when it's our health, it falls into these last ones. Has tasted, yes, babe.
I can go to daddy something.
Yeah, go ahead. Has tasted from the unclean cup, unclean plate, or unclean dish, right? Because of the foods of what we do to our body. Yes, babe. Hold on, let me go ahead and end this. All right, y'all. So with that being said, let me go ahead and end this. I love y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with me today. I'm gonna get that stuff shared with y'all from the community section, the old video that I was telling you about with me and my sister, with the courtroom of heaven, so you can see that it works on both ends. So y'all, it is Monday, March the 7th. Hold on for a second, babe. It is March the 7th. 2022, day 49 of year 4 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets, and of the 4-year consecutive day count, day 1067. And we finished reading the tablet H of the complete Annunaki Bible. All right, beautiful people. With that being said, may Yahuwah continue to bless you and keep you and give you the strength, wisdom, and courage to walk in the truth. And may he continue to lead us and guide us into all truth. All right, beautiful people. I love y'all. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace. Go ahead, little girl. Go ahead and that. And this one. I gotta talk to Dad real quick. Hold on. Enjoy my.
Mom, that's right. I got some lipstick.
Yeah, I see. And you had lipstick on my pillow too. Bye, y'all.
And Dad.